Before you ever learned to calm the storm inside you, you first had to survive its loudest nights. This is the moment you finally understood that the noise within you wasn't a sign of weakness, but the beginning of your strength. There comes a point in life when the storm inside you grows louder than the world around you. You try to move through your day as if everything is fine, but fear circles your thoughts, anxiety tightens your chest, and self-doubt sits quietly in the back of your mind, whispering questions that drain your strength. You do your best to hide it. You smile for others. You act calm. You pretend the noise inside you is temporary. But late at night, when the world becomes silent, that inner storm rises again, reminding you of every worry you tried to bury. This is where the journey begins. Not on the days when you feel strong, but on the nights when fear feels bigger than your courage. And it is in those quiet, overwhelming moments that your true strength begins to reveal itself. Fear is not a sign of weakness. Fear is a sign that something matters to you. Yet when fear grows unchecked, it can make your world feel small. It convinces you that every step forward is dangerous. It fills your mind with what-ifs and worst-case scenarios. Anxiety then joins the conversation. It makes your heart beat louder. It makes your breath shorter. It makes simple tasks feel heavier than they should. And self-doubt, the quietest of all, starts whispering that maybe you are not good enough, not brave enough, not strong enough to handle what life is giving you. These three forces work together, shaping your thoughts in ways that make you forget your own strength. And before you realize it, they build storms inside you that feel impossible to calm. There was a moment in your life when you felt as if you were sinking inside your own mind. The future felt uncertain. Your hands trembled when no one was watching. Your heart felt too loud for your body. You looked at yourself and wondered why you could not simply be confident like others. Why you could not just silence the fear like people told you to. But the truth is that fear, anxiety, and self-doubt do not disappear because someone tells you to think positively. They disappear when you begin to understand them instead of fighting them. And that understanding begins the moment you finally admit what you feel instead of hiding it. One evening, you found yourself sitting alone, wondering how much longer you could live this way. The storm inside you felt endless. Your mind kept replaying old mistakes and imagining new ones. But in that moment, you made a choice. Instead of running from the storm, you decided to face it. You took a slow breath, then another, and then another. For the first time, you acknowledged the truth. You were scared. You were anxious. You doubted yourself. And yet, despite all of this, you were still here, still breathing, still fighting, still trying. That realization became the beginning of your quiet healing. You saw that your survival alone was evidence of a strength you never gave yourself credit for. Fear often appears when you are about to grow. Anxiety often rises when you are stepping into the unknown. Self-doubt often whispers the loudest when you are standing at the edge of something meaningful. These emotions do not show up to destroy you. They show up to challenge you. They show up to prepare you. They show up because your mind is learning how to handle a new level of life. Understanding this truth does not erase the fear, but it changes the way you see it. Instead of seeing fear as a wall, you begin to see it as a doorway. And suddenly, what once felt like an obstacle begins to look like an invitation. Slowly, you began to train your mind to breathe through the storm. You learn that anxiety loses its power when you do not fight it. You learn that fear becomes smaller when you name it. You learn that self-doubt becomes quiet when you speak to yourself gently instead of harshly. You started taking small steps. Some days, those steps felt easy. Other days they felt impossible. But the fact that you kept taking them, even while shaking, became the greatest proof of your strength. And step by step, you began to trust yourself a little more than you did the day before. People around you never saw the full battle you were fighting. They saw your calm face, but not the thoughts that kept you awake at night. They saw your steady posture, but not the trembling you hid in your hands. They saw your smile, but not the weight you carried inside, and yet you moved forward. Every morning you rose again, even when your heart felt heavy. Every day you showed up for your life, even when your mind tried to pull you back. These quiet acts of courage slowly built a version of you that you never knew existed. You grew in silence, but your strength was becoming impossible to ignore. As time passed, small changes began to appear. You noticed moments of peace you could not feel before. You found yourself taking deeper breaths without forcing them. You started trusting your decisions a little more. You allowed yourself to make mistakes without punishing your soul. The fear was still there, but it no longer controlled your every move. The anxiety still visited, but it no longer stayed as long. The self-doubt still whispered, but you learned to speak louder. And slowly, you realized that progress is not loud. It is steady, gentle, and quietly life-changing. Then came the realization that changed everything. The storm inside you was not something to fear. It was something to understand. It was something to learn from. It was something to grow through. The storm existed because you were evolving, not because you were broken. It existed because you were becoming someone more aware, someone more courageous, someone more emotionally awake. You learned that fear is a teacher, anxiety is a reminder to slow down, and self-doubt is a sign that you care deeply about your path. And with that understanding, the storm began to feel less like chaos and more like guidance. Today, you are not storm-free, but you are storm-strong. You walk with awareness instead of fear. You breathe through your anxiety instead of collapsing under it. You move forward despite the whispers of self-doubt. You understand now that your emotions do not make you weak. They make you human. They make you capable of growth. They make you capable of transformation. You are not defined by what scares you. You are defined by the courage you show while facing it. You now know that strength is not about silencing the storm, but rising within it. And every day, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than the waves that once overwhelmed you. This is your truth now. You are learning to calm the storm inside you, not by force, but by understanding. You are learning that strength is not the absence of fear. Strength is walking forward while fear walks beside you. Healing is not the absence of anxiety. Healing is breathing slowly while anxiety tries to rise. Growth is not the disappearance of self-doubt. Growth is choosing to move even when self-doubt tries to hold you still. You are not weak. You are evolving. You are not failing. You are learning. You are not breaking. You are becoming. And with each passing day, you step further into the person you were always meant to be.